Hey, this is Mandy with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is DocuSign 101. It's going to be an overview of DocuSign. That's a platform where you can edit documents like your MLS board forms, your Market Center forms, anything and everything. You can edit them, send them to clients, get signatures, and also there's a way that it links to your command so that you can submit them to your Market Center for compliance. I'm going to show you all that today. Again, it's going to be an overview, like a 101. Okay. So if you have any specific questions and you're here with me live, definitely drop those questions in the chat and I'll try to get them answered for you in real time. Otherwise, I'll stay a few minutes after class and get those answered for you. And if you're watching this back on recording, you can absolutely reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'll be happy to see how we can help. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and sign into Command. And I'm going to show you where you can check to make sure that your DocuSign account is actually linked to your Command account. That's first step. So you would come over here. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's a little small. That way you guys can see it. There we go. So first, after you sign into Command, you would click on your name in the top right and choose Settings. This brings you to your applications page. It's where other platforms are linked to your command. You can see that right here, connected apps. And if it is connected, you will see DocuSign and current status is connected. That means you should be good to go. Okay. I'm going to disconnect this just so I can reconnect it to show it to you guys. I do not recommend you ever disconnect. Okay. Don't do it. But I'm going to do it just so I can show you guys how to reconnect it. So if DocuSign is not connected, notice it moved from underneath connected apps to down here under digital signature and transactions. We see that the status is not connected. You would simply connect your DocuSign account to Command by clicking Connect Account. This is actually prompting you to create a brand new KW DocuSign account. The DocuSign accounts that are compatible with your command are very specific. They are a KW version of DocuSign, and it needs to be created from right here within your command account in order to be compatible. If you had an existing DocuSign account that was created prior to you joining KW, 99% of the time it's not going to be compatible with command and you would need to create a new account. If you question this at all, if you're not sure if you have a compatible account or you're hitting glitches that seems to not be working, like your DocuSign's not working when you're trying to use it with command, we can always check that for you. So just let us know. But if you need to create a KW DocuSign account, this is that screen. It's letting you create one. You would send the registration email to yourself and follow the steps in that DocuSign invitation email to actually set up your password. Okay. But since we have an existing KW DocuSign account, I'm simply going to click Login here, enter the email. That's not the email. One second. You would enter your DocuSign email that you have the account set up under right in this box, and then you would click Login to DocuSign. It will open a new window and ask you to put in your password. There we go. And click Login. We get the banner of success here, letting us know we've connected that DocuSign account. Notice that DocuSign disappeared again from underneath digital signatures and transactions. And if we scroll back up, now it's located underneath the connected apps again, right here, and we can see our current status is connected. Okay. All right, so that was prep work numero uno. You want to make sure that DocuSign account is linked to your command account. Okay. The next step, just a little bit of prep work. you'll want to make sure you have your contacts in command. This is your contacts tab over here on the top left, second icon down. If you're not super familiar with these icons just yet, you can hover over them or even click the red square and it'll pop out the names for you. So I'm just going to travel over here to our contacts tab briefly just to show you where your contacts live. We have a database overview class that will teach you how to get your contacts added. If you want to add them manually or import them in bulk, you can do it either way. But you want to make sure that you have your contacts in here because it will help auto-populate information, not only in your command opportunity, but also in your KW DocuSign account for you. So I'm going to show you one thing while we're here, because the next step in getting to DocuSign from within your command account is creating an opportunity. So first step, making sure DocuSign was linked to command. Second step, have your contacts in command. Third step, you want to create an opportunity within command, and that's how you're going to access DocuSign from within your command account. You can create an opportunity from right here within this contact. I'm just going to show you that shortcut briefly, just so you know where it is. I'm going to click on the contact's name. And there's an opportunities tab right over here. Every contact you have in command has this tab. And you would click create opportunity over here to the top right. Okay. If you have existing opportunities for this person, they'll also show here as well. Okay. But that's a shortcut. I'm going to do it the long way just so you know and you learn and you know how to get there. Okay. So our third step, creating that opportunity. We'll go over here on the left-hand side again. Our opportunities tab are the two hands that look like they're shaking, and we're going to click that. And just a reminder, guys, we actually record our classes and we'll post them on YouTube for you, but we don't allow private recording of the classes. I just got another notification. Just want to let everybody know. No worries, I did deny it, but I just want to let you know. All right, so right here, once we're in opportunities, we'll create an opportunity. I'm not going to go through this in super detail because we do have another class called Opportunity and Sales Pipeline. If you're not familiar with how to create an opportunity, definitely recommend checking out that class. We'll go field by field for you all the way through the steps. But since this is DocuSign 101, I'm giving you the basics on how to get to DocuSign from within your command. Okay. So I'm simply going to go to my individual tab here because I want to create an opportunity under my personal profile. And I'm going to click Create Opportunity in the top right. You would choose your market center. I'm actually going to leave it there. And for your opportunity type, I'm going to choose a listing opportunity. It has an additional option that a buyer opportunity does not have, and I want to show you that today. We'll pick our contact. This is where having your contacts in your command account automatically helps you, because instead of having to create a new contact right here, I can simply start typing the name of my contact and it will show me that contact already in my database. I can select it and it will auto-populate their information into this opportunity, which will eventually feed into my DocuSign account. I'm going to leave the name as it is. Actually, let me put DS before it so I'll know which one in case we need to come back. Just filling in the required fields here, guys, just to get the opportunity created. I'm going to hit create at the bottom. And now we are in our opportunity, okay? Once you're in the opportunity, you do have a documents tab right here. You would come to documents and you need to pick a checklist. Over here on the left-hand side, you will have checklists specific to your market center. Remember, this is a listing opportunity. So these checklists are different types of listings like residential, new construction, commercial, things like that. You would pick one that is pertinent to your particular transaction. We'll just choose residential listing for now. What this checklist does, it will show you the forms that you need for compliance with your market center. Notice that now the forms are populating right here in the opportunity. It shows you which ones are required by your market center. It also shows which ones are conditional. And there should be an optional. There's an optional right here, and gives you those form names and lets you know if they're not uploaded, submitted for review. It lets you know the status over here on the left. Okay. So that's kind of a guide for your documents so that you'll know what you need for your particular market center. Remember, it's different for every market center. So don't be alarmed if your screen looks different than mine at this point. Okay. One other thing just to point out, these forms will change as you move this opportunity through the pipeline. So once it's listed, once it goes under contract, and when I click under contract, notice the forms changed. And then once it's closed, it also changes those documents too. So on this checklist, you have different options over here that you'll move through to get those forms submitted to your market center. Okay. Now, that was step number 3. We got our opportunity created. We're in here on the documents tab. We've picked our checklist, so we know what forms we need to get done for this particular transaction. Now, let's go ahead and show you the one item that a listing opportunity has that a buyer opportunity does not. And it's right up here. See, select from listings. You can go ahead and select the listing for this opportunity. And once you do that, let me move back over here to my details tab. Your opportunity has a details tab that includes information like the contact that we added, things like that. Notice our property details are completely empty right here. While you can click this pencil to add that listing to the opportunity, you can also select from a listing right here and it will auto-populate that information. You can choose to view all listings. We'll choose one that's for sale. And searching by street address or MLS number is usually better. I'll just leave it street address for now. And just going to scroll through until we see a KW listing if we can find one really quick. If not, I will come up with a fake address. But you can choose any listing here that you want to link to your opportunity. Looks like I'm not going to find one right off the bat. So let's go ahead and just come up with our fake address. We'll grab the first one right here and click select. I'm going to pick one with a regular photo. There we go. And now you can see your listing is linked to your opportunity. Notice it auto-populated this property information right here. Now that this is here, when we go to create our DocuSign room for this transaction, it will automatically pull in this information and auto-populate it on our forms for us. So let's go back to our Documents tab. See Start Transaction over here on the right. This is how we create a DocuSign room. Think of room as like a folder. It's just a space inside of your DocuSign account to where you can keep all of your details concerning that one particular transaction. It might make a little more sense in just a second when I show it to you in detail. So you would click Start Transaction here. If you have .loop and DocuSign linked to your command account, you may see both options populate. We, of course, will choose DocuSign for today. And what it's going to do, it's going to open DocuSign in an additional tab. Hopefully faster than it's going. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. So what you're looking at is your DocuSign room. Again, this is a space where all of your information concerning this transaction is going to live. See where it automatically pulled in our address and also our contact's name that we already had on our opportunity. So that just helps save you a few steps. That's a big benefit to creating this DocuSign room from within your command account instead of going directly to DocuSign. If you go to directly to DocuSign, if you sign into DocuSign directly, bypass command altogether, and you create the room for this transaction, it won't be linked or synced to your command opportunity. And that will cause an issue when you try to pull in your forms for compliance. It actually causes more work for you. You'll manually be downloading forms, manually uploading forms, things like that. So, just highly, highly, highly recommend always do exactly what I just showed you. Go through your opportunities first, start that transaction, and let the DocuSign room be created through your command account first. Then, once that room's created, if you're on the fly and you need to jump in the DocuSign app really quick to get a form out or to shoot it over for a signature, maybe have somebody sign in person, that's 100% okay. You just want that initial creation of the DocuSign room to happen from within your command account. That way they are linked and you can sync them. Okay. All right. So now that we're here in the room, let me give you a little bit of general navigation of DocuSign, excuse me. So we do have a dashboard option right here at the top. This is going to be pretty much where your quick links are for your DocuSign account. You'll see, I'm going to close that. You'll see the recently viewed rooms for all of your different transactions, your most common ones, or the ones you just recently looked at. You'll also have access to new messages. You have a DocuSign inbox where you can email yourself forms. I'm going to show you that in detail. And you also just have a new way of looking at it instead of being in the block or tile layout. You can also see your your newest rooms. I can speak really honest. And it's right here in list form for you. And then you have some signing activity and new document access if it is pertinent to your account. Okay. David, you are spot on, my friend. He's asking, how did you get the forms into the DocuSign room? I'm actually going to cover that for you in detail because it's going to be different for depending on which state you're in. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to get to that part. So again, this is just your dashboard if you need to come for some quick links. I'm going to go to rooms now and show you around the room, and then we will touch on a couple of these other items when it's time. So we now are looking at our different rooms. There are a couple of different views. You can choose whichever you like. This is tile view. You can see the name of the opportunity here and the address if it applies. Okay. You can see the type of room. It's a list. Looks like we have all lists in here. There's a buyer. So you can see the green buy on the top right. You can also choose to see these in list form. Right over here on the right-hand side, it'll adjust your view, and you can see those in list form if you want to. Okay, I'm going to keep it tile for today, and we're just going to jump right back into our opportunity, and I want to show you how to get your forms into your DocuSign room. So, excuse me, I was going to miss a step. First, did you see me go into the room? I just clicked on it. Notice we have a details tab. Remember, we had the details tab in the opportunity and you were filling in information there. Now that opportunity has pre-filled that information right here into your DocuSign account. You can see your client's name and phone number over here. You also see the name of the opportunity. You can scroll down a little bit and see where it added our listing opportunity or listing address as well, even some listing details from the MLS. So it pre-filled that information right here into your details tab. There are a few more fields on this DocuSign details tab than what is in your opportunity. But if you are to update any of your information, I always recommend go into your opportunities tab first. I'm going to just toggle back over there so you see it. We're in Command, our Opportunity, Details tab. Update the information here within this Details tab first. And then you can sync your transaction, which means we're sending over any new information entered on this tab over into that DocuSign account. So I'll just click Sync, Update, and now it says your room information has been updated. Okay, and you have these little blue bubbles showing you that all that information is synced. Then you can come over here to your DocuSign Details tab within your room. And if there's more fields here that were not in your opportunity, you can always manually come in here and add that information. You'll see like in the top right, the actions button right here um, to fill from your contacts that you have, or you can hit edit up here at the top right, and it makes these fields editable. Okay, just make sure that you come over here and you hit save for any changes that you made. Okay, I'm going to cancel. Now that you have all your details straight, let's add those documents to your room. So I'm going to click on the Documents tab. And from right here, you'll notice forms are already in the room when I brand spankingly new created it. The reason why is some market centers have it set up to where forms will automatically populate in certain opportunities for you. So, or in certain DocuSign rooms for you, based on it being like a listing opportunity. So I'll see basic like seller disclosure notice and things like that in my room automatically. So if you don't see these forms or you see different forms, it's just based on what your market center currently has set up. Now, let's talk about where to get your other forms. For the majority of agents, you're going to be able to pull your MLS board forms and your market center forms from right here within DocuSign. I'm going to show you how to link your market center forms and your NRDS number into your DocuSign account to access those forms. That's the first way I'm going to show you to add forms, and then I'll show you a couple of different options based on your area. Okay. So first, to add your market center forms, you would go to the bubble in the top right that has your initials and click Preferences. We're just coming into some of the settings on the back of your DocuSign. You would click Integrations on the left, and you should see company forms listed here under Providers if you already have your market center forms available. If you do not see company forms automatically added like this, you can click Add Provider. And this little bitty link all the way down here at the bottom would be blue. It says Continue to company forms without validation. And you could click this link right here. This box would disappear and you would see company forms then listed underneath your providers. That's for your market center forms. In some cases, your market center also supplies your board forms as well, and this may be all you need. For the other areas that actually need to pull in board forms by adding in their NRDS number, it's now called an M1 number. I'm going to briefly show you how to add that. You would click Add Provider. You would choose which one of these is pertinent to yourself. Usually, you would choose Realtor. Joe, great question. Are we responsible for making sure we have all the proper market segment forms loaded? Is there a template that shows the forms we should have for our market center? So that would be back in your opportunity right here, documents. Give it a second to load, and your forms are listed all right here that you need. You can filter them by showing this column. If I click on this, it will filter to show me all of my required forms at the top, down to the conditional forms. Well, that sort did not work well. Give me just a second. See if I can get it done again. There we go. And then it'll start listing off conditional forms and optional forms. Okay, so this shows you the forms that you'll need. We're just scrolling all the way back up to the top. And over here you see for listed, under contract, and closed. So all the ones. Yep, Joe, that's going to be pertinent based on your market center. Your market center will show what forms are specific for them. It's going to be different for everybody, depending on the market center you're in. This is a Texas market center, so that's why. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? So there's like 40 documents. It's a ton. All right, so you're welcome. So let's go back to DocuSign here. Hold 1 second on that, David. I'll jump back to that. So right here, you would normally choose Realtor for the National Associations of Realtors if you're not part of like Oregon, California, Texas, Northwest, or Georgia. We'll come right here to Realtor. And you would enter your NRDS number right here, your last name exactly how it appears on your license, and you would choose your association of realtors. Once you've filled out those fields and hit validate, you would actually see over here, I'm going to hit cancel just to get out of it. And underneath providers, you would then see your NRDS number listed here, and you would now have access to your board forms. Again, that's for the majority of agents. Some areas are different. I think Idaho's a little different. I know our Canadian agents are different. So this is just for how to pull in your board forms and your market center forms, if that's how your area uses it. And this is most commonly how it is done. I'll even go back and show you for the ad provider, when you want to add your NRDS number, if you are not sure of what that number is, you do have a Find Your Member ID link right here to help you locate that if you need it. Okay. All right. Zip forms. Some market centers use zip forms. And so right here is where you would actually integrate that into your DocuSign account. You would simply click the blue arrow and log in with your zip form username and password and click save. I know some agents do pull your board forms through zip forms, and that's how you would link it to your DocuSign. Now, there's a couple of other ways to add forms to your room. Now that we've gotten our accounts linked to it, let's go back up here to rooms. We'll go into our room, click it right here. And then from here, documents. And you can add forms right here to your room. Okay. What we just did was make sure you had access through either your NRDS number, your market center forms, or zip forms. For our Canadian agents and other places that add forms from like a third party platform like Web Forms or Formplicity, things like that, you can always add a document right here to your room and pull that form from your computer, from your own device. So you would just click computer, it will open your files, and you can simply select the file and click open, and it will add it into the room. Another option is you can open your files as well on your computer, and you can drag and drop the form into the room, and it will add it that way. Lots of great questions coming in the chat, guys. Keep them coming. Clicking the add button again to add your forms. If you get them from zip form, here is that option. You do have a few other options in here as well to pull in forms. I want to show you DocuSign forms because 9 out of 10 times, this is where most agents are going to pull them. If you are one of the agents that linked your Market Center forms and your NRDS number in order to pull your board forms, this is now where you have access to your forms right here in DocuSign. I'll click DocuSign Forms. A window is going to open and you get to see your libraries right down here at the bottom. So like that's what a board library would look like. It'll have usually MLS associated with it or actually the word association on the name of it. I'll show more here to show you what a market center looks like. These are what market center libraries tend to look like. They usually have KW or MC for market center, just so you can see what a different library looks like. You will not have this many likely. You will just have one probably for your market center and one for your board, maybe two if you're part of two different boards. So you will be able to view those here. The libraries are going to be all the forms provided by that source. Okay. Your packet up here at the top, right here, is where you can make folders. Excuse me, not you make folders. Your market center or your board has made folders that are pertinent to a different type of transaction. Like you can see listings right here. You start seeing purchase folders right here, but they're called packets. For sale by owner, REO. These are going to look different for everybody because these were made by your market center or your board, and it's specific to your area. So don't get confused if this is looking different from your screen. Okay. All right. So once you choose the packet you want to use, it will show you the forms for that packet. You can preview by clicking the eyeball if you just want to take a look at that particular form. If you're not sure if it's what you need, you can preview it here. It will say sample on it, but don't panic. As soon as you add it to your room, it will no longer say sample. Yes, David, great question. So when your association or your market center updates their forms, it automatically updates them here within these form packets. They do that on a market center level. You may have to come back in here and grab them from your packets. It will not automatically populate in your room all the time unless it's those few select forms that automatically come into your room when you create an opportunity, like those first few that we saw at the beginning of the video. So you may still need to come in here, click your add button, come in here to your packet and grab that new version of the form if they've changed in the middle of your transaction. Okay. But once you decide these are the forms you need, you can click the boxes beside them to select them or select all and click add selected. That will add the forms right here to your room. And again, if you don't like this tile view, you still have that option on the right to click list view if you like that better, or tile. Okay. And now that we have our documents actually completely in our room, pardon me, I'm going to show you one other way to get forms into your DocuSign account. Your inbox tab right up here. You have a dedicated inbox for your DocuSign account. And so when you want to email yourself documents, you can do that to your email address that can be found right here in the top left under your inbox tab. You send the forms to that email address. They would arrive right here in your inbox. And then you can parse them out to whichever DocuSign room that you need them to go to from your inbox right here. Okay, so that's another way to get forms into your DocuSign room. I'm going to travel back to my room here. And now that we're here, we're going to edit the forms. How do we get the information into the fields that we need? And you can do that by clicking on the document itself. Let me grab one that I think is going to end up, oh, let me get into our room here. Those are room names. So now we're jumping back into our room, into our documents tab, and these are our forms. Looking for one that's going to have auto-populated information. Let's grab this one. So I'm just going to click on the document that I want to use and not choose that one because I have an error on it. We're going to choose this one. It's just because this is a demo account, guys. So sometimes when I pull in forms from another market center than which market center this room was created for, you'd see an error like that. So all I did was click on this document. It's giving me a preview here, but I can work in this space. See how the fields have automatically populated with our contacts information, with our listing information. That's all populating here, but some of the form fields are still blank. So I can put my cursor in that and begin typing and fill out the other forms this way. Okay. Once you're done, you would click Save and Close. And that's how you edit your forms that are uploaded here within your DocuSign room. I want to point out, see this blue dash right here on this form? That's letting you know this is a DocuSign Power form. What that means is your market center or your board have already created those fields on that form for you, making it to where all you have to do is put your cursor in and type in the information. If it's like a red box right here, not sure how well you can see that on your screen, but this is red instead of blue and it just says PDF. Those are those PDFs that I brought in from my device. That's what we call a flat PDF. It's not a power form. That means there's no fields on this document at all. So when I click on it to view it, there's not going to be any fields for me to put my cursor in to actually fill in information. That's okay. You can add fields to those flat PDFs when you create the envelope to send it for signatures. Ishan, I'm glad you asked. We're actually going to show that how to pull the signed documents into your opportunity. And Wes, when you're trying to add forms and it's saying that you don't have any access to forms, it sounds like we just need to get your Market Center or your NRDS integrated into your DocuSign account. If you need help with that and we work with your Market Center, we can definitely jump in and help with that. So if you want to send us an email, we can jump into your specific account and help get that corrected for you. No problem. Okay. So now that we have our forms, we've edited, right? You're welcome. No problem. Now I want to show you how to actually send them to somebody to get them edited, okay? Or to get them signed, excuse me. So see the little checkbox on the top of each form? I would choose that form by clicking those check marks. So you pick any and all forms that you want to send, and notice we had a menu populate. This gives you several options. You have a copy option if you want to copy forms. You also have a move if you're moving them to a different place. You can email them out. This is simply an email. It does not send for signatures. You can print. You can combine them into one whole document if you want. I'm going to skip our pin because that's where we're coming back to. You can download them to your device. Maybe somebody wants to sign on paper. You can also archive them if you don't want them in this room anymore. Joe, you're asking about zip form packages, then your board may or may not use zip forms. If you haven't been provided a zip form account either by your board or your market center, chances are that's not how they're using forms or using that platform to get forms to you. So we may need to look at that. Again, if you want us to look in your specific account, we can take a look, Joe, but it sounds like that's not how your board gets you forms if it's looking to charge you. Okay. And you have a delete button right here too. If you ever want to delete a document out of a room, just Please be careful doing that. So we're going to do pin right here. That's how you create an envelope. An envelope is where you can send it to folks to, like, maybe they just need to see a copy of the form. Maybe they need to sign. There's a few different options in here, but this is how you actually send it to somebody when you want them to take an action. Okay. So we'll click our pin. It's going to ask you which fields you want to actually start auto populating on those documents. So since this is a listing, and these forms I selected have options for sellers, I can choose which seller is going to sign. If I have two, I would choose both, and we'll hit continue. And wait forever. There we go. That's my system, guys. It should not be this slow for you guys. I've just got too much running on my system here. Let's go. There it goes. All right. At the tippy top, you'll see the documents that you just added. Don't panic if you click the preview and what you typed into this field is not showing. This is just a preview, okay? It'll all be there when we get to the next step. I'm going to click off the preview, but you can drag and drop these into different orders depending on which order you want them to be presented to your client in. You can also upload more right here if you forgot something, okay? Then we have our add recipient section. Since we already chose seller 1 and seller 2, it put those recipients right here for us. If you need to add more, say you have a deal that has more than 2 sellers, you can always come and add recipient right here, and it will continue adding recipients for you, okay? When you want to remove them, you just hit that little trash can and we'll get it back down to 2 here. Now our seller's information populated in the first one, and it is marked needs to sign. Notice that if I click that, there's lots of options, guys. If they just want to receive a copy, if you want them to be able to edit the form, if they need to sign with a notary present, there's just a lot of options there, okay? But we'll leave it as needs to sign. And then we'll just add another person right here in order to show you the two different options. See how one's yellow and one's blue? This color coding will come in handy in just a minute when we start adding signature blocks and more data, okay? I do want to point out the signing order right here. Notice that it automatically put them in order. This person will receive the documents first and need to complete their action before the second person receives theirs to complete their action. What happens a lot of times, we get messages from agents that say they've put themselves as like the second recipient and they're panicked because they haven't received an email. So they think that the envelope didn't go anywhere. It just usually has to do with your signing order. The first person hasn't completed their action so that it can be sent to you next. Okay. You can drag and drop these in different order if you want to. Okay. So drag and drop them in whatever order you need to. I'm going to change our signing order back to 1 and 2 here. You do have the option not to do a signing order if you want it to just literally go out to everybody all at once. Okay. Now that our little recipients are there, for some reason my name disappeared. There we go. And it disappeared again. Just a second. Let me type it manually. There we go. Okay, it's sticking this time. And come on down to add message. Now, this message has a subject line and an email message. This will appear in the email that the clients receive. You can type in these fields and it will go to everybody, or you can actually choose to send a custom email and language for each recipient if you want a different message to go to the different recipients. Okay, so you can click that to go to your first recipient. You can choose the email language right here. Now, this changes the language within the DocuSign email itself, but your forms will still appear in the same language that they were created in, okay? This is just changing the language for this email that you're typing right here, okay? I'm going to choose off from custom. Assume you're going to send this message to everybody. And then if you can see over here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a next button. Now that we've adjusted our envelope details, you'll go to next. And this is where you can add your fields. So we already had them pre-filled with the opportunity details, right? We also clicked on our forms and typed into all the other additional fields that we wanted to. So all of your information should be here already. But for some reason, if you come in here and now there is a new field and you're like, wait, I need to put a piece of information there. I'm trying to scroll down just to see if we can find a little field that's blank. Just a second. Nope. Okay, we're going to pretend. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up on my form here. And let's pretend that there's a field right here. Well, here's a blank one that's made for the seller's last name. I'm just going to click on that field. If you see it gray like this, and I can begin typing immediately. Okay. So you can add information onto your form again from right here in these fields. Okay. You also can add additional fields over here on the left. Notice we're under that yellow recipient, the very first recipient we had, and you can confirm that with the name up here. So I'm under him. Everything I put on this field will be yellow. And I can take that text box, drag and drop it, make it bigger if I want, put my cursor in it, and start typing another message here. Okay. So you can add fields. This is how you might be able to make some edits, fill in fields you've missed, anything like that. And if you need to drag in some initials to a change, just drag and drop. Signature, just drag and drop. Okay. You can also change the size by pulling on the corners. You can grab, where's my date? There's my date signed box. So you can put it right beside, maybe you need to put it beside your initial here. And just use those as you need to. Okay. And so that's a way that you can get these fields exactly like you want. If I scroll down, you'll notice some signature blocks are already showing here. That is because it was already preset on your form. Remember the blue showing a power form? This was a power form. That means those signature blocks and dates have already been supplied there for you by either your market center or your board. And so that's preset. The blue is for that second recipient and the yellow is for the first recipient. I can come over here and toggle between the two people. Let's go to our second recipient. Notice all of my options turn to blue. And now I can drag and drop anything that I need for that particular person right over here. Okay. Now I want to point out, notice I dropped a text option. Let's go grab, let me get a checkbox. Sometimes you need the recipients to check something off if it's pertinent or not. Notice I dropped a checkbox right here. And on the right hand side, I can make that read only, which means I'm going to check it for them. Well, I can check it for them. Hold on. There we go. Check it for them and mark it read only. They can't uncheck that. It's already selected for them. Okay. With the text box, notice over here on the right that now I have a required field checked. That means my second recipient would have to enter some kind of text in this box. It would be required before they could sign. Okay. Or I can actually click on that box and choose read only or unselect it being required, which means they don't have to put anything in there. It's an optional form, optional field. Okay. Hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions, drop those in the chat as we're going here. I'll be sure to go ahead and help you. Now that I've shown you how to drag and drop and adjust these fields, if you're ready, you can come over here, choose the arrow beside the send button. You can schedule this to send later if you would like, or you can click send and have it go out right now. Or third option, up here under actions, you can click save and close if you want to save it as a draft. How to add logo to the form. Eli, is it a logo that for you personally or for your market center? Um, we do have some options, like you can add an attachment here on the left-hand side and things like that, your market center. Well, your market center logo should already be on the form when you get them from your market center. That should already be created by them. So you shouldn't have to add it from right here. Another option too, guys, up here on the top right, preview. If you need to see how these forms look before they go out, you're viewing this as, and you can choose between your recipients. So our second recipient would see it like this, scroll down, and would only see the signature blocks that are pertinent to them. If I click over to my other recipient, they are only going to see fields that are pertinent to them. So we had a signature block for him way up here. The text box was for him, so he sees the actual box around it with the initial he needs to sign. The other recipient would see the text that's in there, but they wouldn't see it highlighted as something that they needed to pay attention to. And then his signature block there. Once you're done looking at the preview, you can hit X at the top. And again, make your choice. Send it now, schedule it later, or go ahead and save it as a draft. We're going to save and close. And it's going to bring us back to our DocuSign room. I want to show you where your envelopes live in case you ever need to come check on them. This is it. We're under our rooms tab. We're in our specific room and we're at the envelopes tab right here. Your envelopes will populate right here for you. It will show you if it is sent or just sitting in a draft. It will show you if it's completed. I accidentally clicked it, so it's jumping back in the envelope. Sorry, guys. 1 second. But it will show you the status of that envelope as we toggle back. There we go. And you also have a timestamp on that thing too, okay? Now, we figured out how to start a DocuSign room from within Command. We found out how to add the details to our DocuSign. We've looked at how to integrate and have access to our forms in DocuSign. We've looked at how to pull our forms in and make edits in them in our room, and also how to create that envelope to send those documents out to get signatures. Once your documents are signed, you would have a completed label right here on your envelope. If you toggle back over here to documents, your document would say signed on it. It usually turns green over here on the right instead of blue or red, and it will say signed. Now, how do you get those turned into your market center? You would come back to your opportunities in Command. We're just toggling back over to this Command tab right here. We're in our opportunity. We're under our Documents tab. And remember how we selected our checklist on the left-hand side and it showed us our forms down here at the bottom? Now we can select the forms to add. Notice that it gives us an option of where to attach these files from. We can do DocuSign or My Computer. I'm going to show you My Computer just briefly. If you're adding them from your computer or your device, you can click Browse and add them from right here. I'm giving it a second to update. Wes, that depends if you have a transaction coordinator. I would tend to say the majority of solo agents in most market centers are not going to have a TC. So you would be making sure that these forms are entered right here and submitted to your market center. But if you do have a transaction coordinator, possibly for the team that you're on, or some market centers do supply those to their agents, then maybe, yeah, this could be a task that they could do for you 100%. This doesn't require your real estate license, so they could definitely submit these for you. So next, you saw how I added it from my device. You can drag and drop it too, guys. So I'll just open my little window right here, grab my PDF, and I can just drag it over and drop. And that's another way to add from your device. This is going to be applicable to different people that may be getting forms again from like a third party platform. If you're using a third party platform other than DocuSign or Dotloop to get signatures on your forms, this is how you would add your forms into your opportunity. Okay. Now I want to show you from DocuSign. You can choose DocuSign. And now when I put my cursor here, it shows me some documents that are in my room. Those were the ones I manually added from my device. So it doesn't know if it has signatures on it or not. So it's offering those to be added here because it's assuming they might have signatures. The reason you're not seeing any of my other forms populate in this drop down is because they didn't have signatures yet. They're not signed. So they're not an option to submit to my market center yet because they're not ready. However, if I did have signed documents, they would be populating in this drop down right here, and I would be able to select one of them. You'll see it upload right here. The status is changing from not uploaded to uploaded. And now my forms are here. If you ever need it, you can click on your three dots and remove those forms or replace those forms. Okay. Now that we have all of our forms down here, just assume that we've done it all. We've added all of our forms. You have a submit to MC button right here. You would click this to send a notification to your market center for them to come review your documents for compliance. You're going to do that at every single level of this checklist. When it's listed, put all your forms, submit to your market center. When it goes under contract, add all your forms, submit it to your market center. When it's closed, repeat. Okay. Notice it's grayed out. It's because we haven't even gotten this approved at a listed level yet, and that's why. Again, if you have any questions about that particular part, you can always check out our opportunities in sales pipeline class. It goes into that in detail. But essentially, your market center will approve or reject your forms. You'll get a notification in command right here, this little notification bell letting you know if it's approved or rejected, or if there's something you need to pay attention to. Okay, if you need to come back and change anything and resubmit it. But that is it. That's how you get your DocuSign created, get your access to your documents, edit them, send them for signatures, and get them turned into your market center. Okay. And so if you have any questions about this or you're experiencing any issues at all with anything that you saw in this video, you can always reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we'll be happy to see how we can help. If you're here with me live, hang in there just a couple more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and go through the questions in the chat and help get those answered. Thanks for watching.